All right, everybody, we should be live. Welcome to a Thursday edition of the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race. This evening, we got something pretty cool for everybody here. The Tournament of the Month. It's much better than the Jam of the Month Club, as you may or may not have seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But anyway, we're doing the Tournament of the Month, and this is Loose Glass Cannons. So what the heck does that mean? Well, this means that in order to unlock Final Kefka, all you need to do is find 10 Espers. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, unfortunately, all of the bosses in this game have the following scaling. They are scaled levels based on the amount of checks you do times 4. However, their HP is only scaled based on your character's Espers and Dragons times 1, which essentially means that they have low HP but high damage and battle potential. Additionally, all forced encounters, those are the non-random ones when you take off the Moogle Charm, they will all also be bosses. So there's just bosses everywhere throughout the entire seed. In order to get the skip for Kefka's Tower, you have to defeat 3 of 5 specific bosses, and those specific bosses for this particular seed are Umaro, Narapa, Ultros number 4, so that's Ultros and Chupan, Fun Baba 3, which is kind of odd because we know exactly where Fun Baba 3 is. He is not shuffled in with the rest of the bosses, or mixed in rather with the rest of the bosses, as you see on Double Down the screen right there. So if we find Terra, and if we go right to World of Ruin Mobilis, we can defeat Fun Baba 3. Also Haydn. So we need to get 3 of those 5 in order to make sure that we get our skip. People are in the racing chat also asking about how does Fun Baba 3 work. So this will be, like I said, this will be an interesting thing. One thing to note is that this is, again, the Thursday community race normally. Normally it's open to all, but like I said, we are doing one of the pods of the Tournament of the Month, the Loose Glass Cannons, and lo and behold, I got some graphics for everybody here. So this is what round 1 looks like so far. There are 4 different pods of 4 racers, and the winners of each pod will move on and face one another in the finals, which is another 4-way race. So round 1 for pod number 1 concluded yesterday, and Jack and Miss Wedge will be moving on to the finals, so congrats to Jack. And pod number 4 has also concluded their races, and Falcon Hit will be moving on, so there we go. We have 2 of our 4 finalists. Tonight we are going to find out who finalist number 3 is, as we're doing pod number 2 between Seto Kiaba, Zenobian, Double Down, and 1 Free Fitz. So this will be pretty exciting because we'll get to know what 3/4 of the finals are for the Tournament of the Month. In case you're interested in learning more about it, you can join our Discord, ff6wc.com, and yeah, we have a lot of friendly people here, and we will definitely help you out on how to play the game, etc., etc., etc. Anyone that has any questions in the chat, feel free to ask them. I will be sure to help answer them. Tracker tonight is Sealing Cat. Thank you so much, Sealing Cat, for tracking. Can't really have the stream without our volunteers, so very much appreciate her for doing the tracking job. It makes my job extremely easy. She just pushes the buttons and I just read them out, and I just basically give you all a strategy about what we're doing. So what we'll probably be seeing is some of our runners. Like I said, all of the forced encounters are bosses, but the random encounters when you take the Moogle Charm off are not. So maybe we'll see a couple runners take the Moogle Charm off at the very beginning of the seed in order to get some levels underneath them. Perhaps maybe we'll go check out some of the shops to see if there's some cool gear we could find. Note that there are no super balls or rods or shields, I believe, in shops. Maybe I might be incorrect on the shields, but there's definitely no super balls nor rods, so there isn't a quote-unquote easy way out, if you will, for trying to get stuff up really fast. So I'm going to give the runners the good luck, have fun, and we are going to get the race started here momentarily. So the runners will be off in tons and tons and tons of different directions here. So this should be a whole lot of fun. Very enjoyable. Such wow. But the loose glass cannons preset, if you want to roll your own, that is how you would certainly do it here. And we do start off with 3 characters, so we'll see which of our 3 characters they are. And as with everything Worlds Collide, we got a bunch of stuff being randomized here. Oh no. Apparently, Seto was away. Yikes. So I thought I started the race, and I didn't start the race. Can I unquit a race? Is that how that works? Well, this is what happens when you're trying to do too many things at once here, folks. Very interesting, indeed. I do see now on his stream that he is away. So when Seto comes back, we'll have to figure this all out. So I can't just rejoin. Can I do that? Can I actually do that? Let's try that. Let's see if we can do this again. And all right. Guess who's back? All right, so some other upcoming events and things we have going on in the community as I stall for additional time here. We are also in the midst of the Moogle's first tournament. So this is a mentor-mentee type of tournament where I have actually been mentoring some newer runners to the scene. So it's a great way to give back to people that helped me when I was first starting out with Worlds Collide, as well as learning some new stuff. So my mentee actually takes a different opening route than I usually take during my seeds, and I started experimenting with it and timing it out, and it turns out that I'm actually doing it wrong. So my mentee actually likes to usually go with Returner's Hideout and then both Figaros instead of doing Narsh Returners and just one South Figaro. And timing it out, it's definitely faster to do the other way with hitting both Figaros back to back, World of Balance, World of Ruin. There are 2 or 3 less chests if you do it that way, but the classroom chests in Narsh, they take almost like a minute between talking to the stupid guy at the front desk and trying to get around Sword Tech guy in that one room. It's pretty awful. The shed is very loot dense though, and it's hard to pass up. But if you have like characters that are, you know, going to go into Narsh at some point later on in the seed, like if you have Locke or if you have Terror or if you have Umaro to start, perhaps you don't start with Narsh and perhaps you do some other stuff. So very interesting to experiment with it. So that should be a lot of fun to see how that race goes. I'm actually going to be doing it at 10 o'clock tonight, so it's going to be a full night of Worlds Collide for me. That should be a whole lot of fun. So if you're around and you want to watch some more stuff, then ff6wc.com is our website, and the link to the Discord. There actually is a bot that goes around and scrapes Twitch and will post links of people who are online and playing this game. So there it is. So we'll just wait for Seto to settle in. No, that I can't make that joke. No, definitely not. I'm very happy that Boojak is still a command that we get to use here. yeah, so I did pull up earlier the here it is. Where is it? So this is our Loose Glass Cannons tournament, and that is what we got going on right now. We do have 2 different pods that have finished. It is pod number 1. We did our race last night, and Jack overslept our race, but somehow won it. So go figure with that one. So Jack and Miss Wedge is going to be moving on to the finals there, and Falcon Hit will be moving on from his particular pod. So yeah, that is, we know 2 of the 4 finalists for this tournament of the month with the Loose Glass Cannons. We will find out the finalists in pod number 2 after this race. So whoever comes in first in this race will be moving on to the finals of the tournament of the month, rather. And then pod number 3 needs to get their act together. I think a couple of the racers have already raced it, but they're doing it in an async fashion because they couldn't find a common time this particular week. Travel is always a bit crazy, especially around this time, so believe me, I understand on that. So now I'm going to quit for reals, and we are going to take this screen down because we do not need it anymore. Once this race kicks off and they're off and running, we will make sure that we've got our racers on screen because they are the stars of the show. Go give them a follow if you haven't already before we start the race. And it looks like we are off and running. Who do we have? We have Umaro and Setzer with Sword Tech and Natural Magic, and Mog with Shock. So this is already a pretty decent start. Umaro is the Berserking Yeti. Mog, additionally, having Shock, he usually has pretty decent magic power, so that should be a pretty good skill for Mog to use. And we've got Sword Tech on Setzer with Natural Magic. Unfortunately, we don't see Cyan yet, and Cyan, his Dream Check will actually unlock 8 Sword Tech, so we're hoping to look for him at some time soon. We've got pretty much a sync on Seto and Zenobia screen. Are they actually... Don't blink, folks. This is actually... this is actually two different streams, but it's definitely a sync there, which is always quite fun to watch. Double Down finding an Illumina right away in the returner's hideout, so hopefully some of the other runners find it as well to keep it a bit even, but that is a huge pickup right away. That is incredible to find. Meanwhile, the other 3 are looting the World of Balance Narsh. It'll be interesting to see if any of them go to peek the hidey hole in the World of Balance Narsh, because you can go up a couple of steps onto the second screen, so that's a screen north of here, and you could actually look to see what the reward from Umaro's Cave is. If there's a character hanging out in that hidey hole, then that's the character you'll get. If there isn't, then that means it's an Esper or an item. And for this particular flag set, we need to get to 10 Espers here. Double Down also picking up a Rage Ring, which is one of Umaro's best naturally equipable relics. It will give Fire Absorption and Lightning Nullification, as well as +5 Strength. So if other people can wear it, that's awesome. There is an offering along with an Atlas Armlet there in 1 free fits, finding that in the relic shop of the World of Balance Narsh as well. Was that an experience egg I saw in the World of Balance South Figaro relic shop? I think that was. So we're selling the farm for it. Nope, that wasn't an experience egg. I'm sorry. I must have been doing a double take with a look. But we did buy a bunch of earrings, and Shock is one of those abilities that does scale off of your magic power. So always good to grab some earrings early, so that this way that'll be pretty powerful for Mog. I figured, Jack, that this would be one of the seeds or one of the flag sets you enjoy. I know one of your strats is to take off the Moogle Charm and run at things, and that's sort of what I adopted for this particular flag set. That seems to be one of the things that a lot of runners are doing here. So we'll see if any of the other ones mimic that. That's a Minerva in the weapon shop there for Double Down. One of the most powerful pieces of armor in the game. It nullifies out 3 different elements, and there is a Terra at the Collingen Inn with Dance. So we got the Boogie Down half Esper lady over there, which is also important because remember, one of the 5 bosses that we need for the skip is Funbaba 3. So now we have access to Funbaba 3 via Mobliss, as well as a lot more checks there. Unfortunately, everybody that went to Narsh will have to double dip for the Whelp check. So Seto is the first person here with some progression, picking up character number 4, and immediately heads straight to the Sealed Gate Cave here. This is one of Terra's checks, and this is one of the most, it is the most, rather, treasure-rich, dense locations in the game. There's 13 different chests here. Ooh, Ice Shield, Dragonhorn, Illumina, right off the bat. We went 3 for 3 in those first 3 chests. There's a Valiant Knife as well in the basement of South Figaro, and we know we might have to go back for that offering. A Red Cap as well in that treasure room there for Seto Kayaba. So we got a ton of stuff early in the game right away. We've got Shock, we've got Sword Tech, we've got Umaro. It'll be interesting to see if anybody wants to do a Coliseum dip. Although I don't actually remember what the Coliseum requirements are, or rather options are for this particular flag set. I will have to I'll have to brush up on it in the interim. Although, you know, with the Coliseum, you can lose a ton of time there, and we've already got a ton of stuff, so there might not be anything in the Coliseum to actually get. That's right, we got 2 Illuminas, a Valiant Knife, offerings in a shop. Some intense stuff so far. Minerva's for sale as well. Alright, so Sealed Gate Cave, there is a little lever here that you could pull down for a battle. That's a 64k glowing stone there at the Zen Thief in the World of Balance. A little too rich for Double Down's blood. If you went to pull on that lever over there by where Seto Kayaba just passed, you could actually fight a boss, and it's not a random enemy, since those are considered the fixed encounters and not a random encounter. That would be a boss, and that was a boss that I spent too long fighting in my seed just yesterday. Meanwhile, we'll figure out what is at the end of the cave to the Sealed Gate here in just a minute. Illumina on the Yeti. Unfortunately, since the Yeti cannot actually accrue any MP, the Yeti cannot actually make use of the 2 times damage proc of the Illumina, but can be put in the back row and will do the same damage. Meanwhile, it's Celeste hanging out at the end of the cave to the Sealed Gate. So that's character number 5 for Seto Kayaba. He is already running up the score here in terms of progression. Remember that characters don't count. It's only Espers in this flag set. Double Down picking up character number 4 with Terra there. Zenobian taking off the Moogle Charm and is doing a couple of grind fights. First fight gets him up to level 7. That's pretty good. So we've got 2 Illuminas, and both Terra and Celeste can naturally equip the Illumina. So you got to figure that that's what they'll be doing all seed, along with Shock at Mog, and Setzer has Sword Tech. But I think I saw somebody put the Valiant Knife on Mog before. And it is Funbaba here at the shed in, where are we here? Vector. The Vector shed. Now, is this Funbaba 3? Because if it is, then we'll take care of one of our 5 potential skip bosses. However, we also know that since Funbaba 3 is one of our skip bosses, and we have Terra, we can always go fight him at at the natural check. Oh, there's a red jacket too in that set of chests there on double down screen. We can find him at his natural spot at Mobilis, but that is Fun Baba 4 actually, and that is a quick win for Zenobian. And this is actually a heal here. So make sure you talk to the woman twice afterwards. And here's another big beefy Fun Baba. It is the boss that has skipped leg day every day, Enhancer in the weapon shop there for Zenobian. Unfortunately, nobody in his current party can equip it. Terra and Celeste can definitely equip that naturally, but again, why would you do that when you have the Illumina? Where is Zenobian going? Oh, he's going for more random battles. I was gonna say, if you keep going north here, you could actually run into an unbeatable Guardian. So you don't want to do that. If you've ever tried to actually go up there, so. Alright, with Mog with Shock, that should clear out these bomblets pretty easily. Oh, nope, it's actually going to one-shot Flame Eater as well. So, Zenobian with 2 bosses under his belt already. And it's 2 different bosses at that. Seto is having a difficult time here with Fun Baba because he has 2 more characters than Zenobian does. So that's increased their levels and their scaling. So that's probably why he's having a bit more of trouble here. One free Fitz cleaning up Narsh and looking to head over to the Kolingen Inn. He looks like he may have forgotten where Kolingen is. There it is. Maybe somebody was drunk when they were piloting the plane. And we've got Kefka at Narsh's Kefka here for Double Down. I don't exactly know where he is at the moment. But one free Fitz does grab his 4th character. And speaking of Guardian, that is Guardian for Zenobian as his 3rd boss. Seto gets chucked out finally after defeating Fun Baba. Double Down is taking care of his first boss of the seed there, and it looks like that was the pull on the lever for the cave to the sealed gate. A little shopping going on in the Kolingen Inn for one free Fitz after picking up the character. Seto Kayaba sees that that is an expensive Esper, and he does not have enough money for that. Yeah, there was supposed to be somebody else that signed up for doing commentary, but they're not here. So, Jack, if you want to join me on commentary, you certainly can. Alright, and here we see one free Fitz is taking off the Moogle Charm and getting his grind fight here. This is a pretty tame one, I must say. Double Down is going to find his Celeste at the end of the cave to the sealed gate, and Zenobian finds his Terror with Dance, and Zenobian is already at level 16 after taking out a couple of bosses, so he's way ahead of the other runners in terms of leveling, and Celeste is going to go in for the Yeti, just because you can control Celeste and you can't control the Yeti. Meanwhile, this is not the boss you want to see after taking the Moogle Charm off of Madam and a couple of veterans. So Double Down is going to try to do the one-hit kill with the shock. We'll see if Mog's got enough power for it. And that looks like a no, so he is going to use the Warp Stone to get the heck out of this fight. That's a smart play. Veterans are pretty tanky, and Madams can cast Pearl on you, which is never a fun spell to receive. One free Fitz, meanwhile, is going to take a peek here, and we do not see a character heading out of the Umaro hidey hole, so that means that the reward at the Yeti Cave is either an Esper or an item. That is a Narsh Guard from the Welk spot, so this is also a Esper item, and it's hiding in the Hide Knights, one of the 5 bosses that we need in order to get the skip. Meanwhile, Zenobian accidentally runs into Doomgaze, maybe? I mean, he does have Setzer, so it is possible that this was planned. But this is going to be a tough fight early on, one of the statue bosses. Thankfully, he's got shock, and it won't be too bad of a problem. I don't think he went to the Cave at the Sealed Gate yet to get those Illuminas. Well, yep, Terra is swinging one of them, because they were in... there was one in South Figaro, and there's also one in the cave to the sealed gate. That is the Golem Magicite there for Seto Kayaba at the basement of South Figaro. Picking that up free progression check up right there. It's got life 3 on it, which is pretty decent. But more importantly, Golem is very good for the final battle to avoid one of the insta-death counters of Tier 3. It's also a piece of Magicite over for Zenobia, and that is the Shiva Esper from that Search the Skies position there. And it looks like he's just going to back that truck up and head over to Daryl's tomb immediately right away for his second check.
You got to go, go, go.
All right, Fire 3 and Ice 2 on that one. What's up, Jack? How are we doing?
We're doing pretty good this evening. How's about you?
Very good, very good. First of all, congrats on the victory in the pod number 1. I'll be rooting for you to take down the rest of the competition there in the finals. What have you seen so far from the seed?
No one cares about that. I'm not racing right now.
Yep. So what have you seen thus far from the seed? It's given our runners a lot to work with here.
Yeah, it certainly has. At this point, you have to think that why would you even want to open another treasure chest? You've got everything you need. Just, you got to go, go, go. Just fly through those checks, find those espers, and take this thing home.
Unfortunately, we do not have Go-Go yet, which would be nice for some of these rods that we've been finding for Mimic. And it looks like we've got a soldier sprite there at Kefka and Narsh on 1 free Fitza screen. That means that this will not be a character. It's either an esper or an item. That was Bahamut as the reward from the Welk check. From hiding in the Hide Knights. HP plus 100 on that esper, so definitely throw that on your Valiant Knife user there.
It certainly can't hurt if you get it early enough. Don't think they've fought too many battles just yet, so there's still
there
some
is
levels
Go-Go.
to be gained.
Speaking of, he's having a conundrum as to whether or not to go pick Go-Go up.
I don't know why you wouldn't pick Go-Go up at this point. If nothing else, you have someone else to use Shock early on.
Yeah, Umaro is probably not long for the party, although that being said, he did put Setzer on the outside looking in for Kefka at Narsh, so that is an interesting decision. Zenobian finds Palador on the grave. We'll see what the boss is here. And it is yet another Fun Baba. He's all over the place.
Everywhere tonight, it would seem.
Yep, he's been in some of the fixed encounters, and now he's in some of the boss spots. So this is actually Fun Baba 4's boss spot, but we did have some Fun Baba 4s as random encounters. Excellent,
Indeed.
Excellent soldier skip from 1 free Fitz, and it's Vargas and the Apple Toilets, the Ipoos.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Double Down is fending off his random battles there. I think there was a Reach Frog in that, so he'll get some sweet GP in that one. Blinken, we missed it. Zenobian already took down the boss at Daryl's tomb, getting that Palador Esper.
Good battle here for Double Down. All undead. If you're packing Revivifies, you don't really have to do anything to win this one. Double Down electing to go for Shock, however.
Also works. And it's the Phantom Magicite for 1 free Fitz there. We'll see if they decide to take Go-Go or if they keep Umaro in the party. And they're leaving Go-Go up on the mountain. This is an interesting decision.
That definitely seems kind of like, why? I mean, you don't have to do Go-Go's check. You can still take him as a party member. He's going to be better than Setzer, at least.
Yeah, I guess the thought is we don't want to increase scaling, but at the same time, right, I don't think Umaro should be in our final party, right? Perhaps, maybe?
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think Umaro's perfectly fine.
He does hit things very hard.
Yeah. He hits things hard, and it's all fast animations. He's very race-friendly.
All right, so Seto looks like he's going to be doing his Narsh circuit here. So he's got 3 checks to do. He's got Terra's Wealth check and Lone Wolf and Kefka Narsh. Zenobian down in the cave to the sealed gate. And yet another fun Baba.
They're everywhere. Seto's now fighting Hyden in the Hyde Knights, as we saw Fitz do earlier. I'm surprised Fitz hasn't been to the sealed gate yet. That seems completely crazy.
That's right, because you would get Celeste at the end of the cave to the sealed gate. Maybe he took your advice and stopped looting as soon as he got his first Illumina, and little does he know that there's a second one in the cave to the sealed gate.
Yeah, it would definitely be a nice place to go.
Bahamut Magicite there for Seto after defeating the Welk check. We'll see if he elects to pick up Gogo or not. Probably in his situation, probably not. Right? Because we've already got a pretty decent party. Although, as you said, it's just another person to mimic Shock.
Yeah, Setzer is easily the weakest link of these 4 right now. And as you can see over on Zenobio's Zenobian stream, they clearly realize that fact because Setzer is now flying the airship forever, as he should be.
Here he is. It's his airship after all, right? It is a cat hood as the other reward, and Seto goes for the cat hood, and bye-bye Gogo. F's in the chat. You hate to see it happen.
Well, hey, that's another valid reason why you don't just turn around there, too. I mean, if you really, really don't want the character for whatever reason, the item might be good.
Yeah, Cat Hood is one of the only halfway decent helmets in the game, and it's really because of the fact that it will pick up all of the gold that is possible from a battle, which means we can go buy our Minervas, we can go buy some of the cool stuff we've seen in shops. One Free Fitz finds a number 128 at the top of the Zozo Tower and dispatches of it pretty easily, and we'll see what the reward is at the top of the tower. Double Down, giving us the sweet tunes of the Magitech here.
Yep, Magitech, definitely a popular place to go. Don't think we'll see Double Down complete the minecart section. Like this flag set, you want to rush to those 10 espers as quickly as you can, because the bosses go down so fast, as per the loose glass cannon name. Like, you blink and you miss it now. That Air Force is dead, for example.
My least favorite boss of the game, not at all sad to see him go. That is the Siren Esper from One Free Fitz there, so that'll be good for Tier 2 of the final battle. At the top of Zozo. Nice little soldier skip from Seto. And he's going to find his Vargas fight here. That is Shote for Double Down. Good for Tier 1. Petrifies everything on the screen. Tier 3 is always fun. Love having seeds that have cure magic in them.
It's pronounced Shoat.
Oh, excuse me. Everybody's got different pronunciations for different stuff, because this was before voice acting was a thing, right? No.
Oh, so that's a very dead Hyden. Good job, Zenobian, and your double Illuminas.
There we go. And Choo Choo, who brought the Ghost Train. Unfortunately, we don't have Blitz to do everybody's favorite meme, but 2 swings of the Illumina, and that is a dead train.
Yep, get used to bosses being killed in 1 hit. That seems to happen quite a lot on these settings, especially if you're packing one of the ladies with 2 Illuminas.
Yep, so that is a Behemoth suit, and Double Down is going to take the Indiana Jones minecart Ride of Doom here. Interesting play.
Yeah, seems a little surprising there at 5 characters and 2 of them having many other options. Seems bizarre to go for a check that's going to require 5 boss fights for 1 reward, when you could just warp stone out and go for some quicker options.
It will get him a ton of levels, though, and maybe he's looking to perhaps get the skip out of the way early. We already know where one of the 5 bosses is, because it's Fun Baba 3 at the Mobilis check. And we'll see if we
It's
find
hard to
any of the other
justify
ones.
going for the skip on these settings because it's specific bosses. You never know what you're going to run into.
It's like a box of chocolates. And let's see if Zenobian lets... Zenobian is not going to pick up either the reward or Go-Go. And that's Cathood 2, Go-Go 0. Yikes. Not a good night for him.
No, definitely not.
And Free Fits didn't even bother checking the rewards, so Go-Go has been left behind, unfortunately, for all of the Go-Go lovers out there in the chat. And Nobody Wars gifting some subs in the chat. Huge plays. Thank you very much for the gifts. The sub money doesn't go to me or Jack, unfortunately. It does go to charity, though. I'm not sure what charity we are supporting. I'm assuming it's whatever we did for SGDQ, maybe, or one of the other upcoming marathons that we're a part of, is to do like a package deal donation or something. But your generosity is appreciated. Thank you very much.
I'm of the opinion that we should be supporting the Jack's Awesome Daughter charity, but I suppose I'd have to take that up with the admins.
There you go. Seto, meanwhile, is in Jador. So this could mean a little auction house peek to see if there are any espers in the auction house. Second Flame Eater in a row for Double Down. And that's a Doom in the Sky for 1 free Fits.
Clouds can run Doom.
Cloudy with a chance of Doom. That's got to be the animated sequel, right? Thankfully, 1 free Fit's taken out Doom with that Pearl proc, because 2 of his characters are frozen, and that would just slow the battle down righteously. I think Mog has been 11 HP for the entire game, which is good if they are using a Valiant Knife. They should be in the front row.
Most certainly are.
They should be in the front row for using a Valiant Knife, although with 11 HP you might want to be cautious in back row. But Valiant Knife is one of those items that is affected by row. And the actual boss, number 1, is Tentacles. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jack.
No one's fond of that particular Greek god.
The Doom Noodles, and it is 51,000 for the Zen Thief Esper. So, Thief getting his money. Inflation is on the rise, folks, even in Worlds Collide. The Phantom Esper was obtained from Kefka at Narsh there for Zenobian, and he's our first runner with 4 Espers, I think. Oh no, Fitz also has 4 Espers. And let's see, it is Cyan at the end of the minecart ride. With Magitech, but his magic power is 28. So here's a conundrum. You get Cyan, which means if you do the dream, you get all 8 sword techs. Do you keep in Cyan with the 28 magic power Magitech, or do you keep in Setzer and get all 8 of his sword techs?
Use the Magitech command. It's better than Sword Tech.
Hopefully we find a magic power plus Esper to throw on Cyan, because 28 magic power isn't great, although levels are way more important than stats, so let's get his levels up there.
Exactly. And with how quickly bosses go down, levels tend to be a little bit higher than normal under these settings. So expect to see characters in the late 40s by the end of the seed, rather than like late 30s as what you'd normally see in a race of this.
So that's the Siren Esper for Seto over there at the top of the Zozo Tower. Fitz is heading down into Daryl's tomb. Zenobian is heading up the Zozo Tower here. And Double Down takes his Cyan and goes right to the Dream immediately here. So that indicates to me that he's going to keep Setzer in the party.
I guess you could, really. Sword Tech is definitely a good command if you have everything available from it. When you have so many nice weapons, though, you really want to get all your damage out of the fight command. It's going to be the fastest animations available to you.
Yep.
Just fight.
And as the seed goes on further, the physical damage formula actually takes your level into consideration twice instead of the magic damage formula, which does it once. And oh, 3 out of 4 for Doomgaze there. That's a reset for Double Down. You hate to see it happen.
Yeah, probably could have rebuilt and fought through that. Could Double Down have done? Just get up your big Illumina swinger and one-shot the boss. But Double Down thinking, no, let's go somewhere else here. So we're going to see a couple of racers up in World of Ruin Narsh now.
All right, so boss down for Zenobian and boss almost down for Fitz. Unfortunately, Umaro also goes down. Did one free Fitz get Cyan? He did not. I think that was a misclick, maybe. That was supposed to be Double Down, so let me fix that there. And that's good. Did one free Fitz go to the sealed cave yet? No, right, Jack? You said he didn't go there yet?
No, he has not been there yet, and at a half hour in, that is completely insane whenever you get Terra so early on. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not liking Fitz's chances in this one, as a result.
Well, he does have 5 Espers, which is tied for the lead at the moment. As we see, Seto is in the World of Ruin Narsh with Double Down. Having Umaro, we could complete 2 checks here. The Tritok Cliff, which is Esper item, so that's a good choice in this particular flag set where we need Espers. And we already know from looking at the Yeti Cave that it is not a character, so this is a chance for a double Esper. Zenobian is not even going to bother checking what the reward is, heading straight down with the dog skip for this check here. And it is French Vanilla Umaro.
And Zenobian reset out of it, apparently.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out what it is here on One Free Fitz's screen, and it is Gao Uow at this check. So the question is it worth fighting 2 bosses for a character you don't need? We'll see what Fitz does, and he decides no, it's not.
Nope. So not particularly interested in the skip, at least for now. I suppose if you find the other 4 bosses, you come back and do that check, perhaps.
Yep. One thing to note, it is 3 of those 5, and not all 5. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well
so,
then,
so it's better chances,
that,
but
that certainly makes it much more enticing. I think especially if you're Fitz right now, when you only have 4 characters, you really should be doing that.
All right, checking out.
There's just not enough options to find 10 Espers unless you get 0 dead checks, which is extremely unlikely. Well, all 4 racers are in World of Ruin Narsh now. The reward from Tritox was everyone's favorite trash reward, Genji Helmet. No idea what that's doing in the good item tier, but there it is.
We need well, the red cap and the cat hood are probably the only helmets that I even want to see besides the Magus hat.
Magus hat? Why? Oh, right,
plus,
stats. People like their stats for some
love
reason.
my
I'll
stats.
never understand that.
Love my stats. So what are the specific
Wear
bosses?
Green Beret. Green Beret gives you hit points. That's a stat that matters.
There you go. HP is the... If you can take down their HP before it takes down your HP, then that's how to win races. Yeah. What are the specific bosses to hunt? I should have written them down. However, I know one is Ultros and Chupan. One is Funbaba 3, which we know is always at Mobilis in the World of Ruin. The other one I remember was Haydn, and there's 2 more that I don't remember. So, this is me being an excellent commentator, folks. Aren't you glad I'm here?
Well, you had no one else with you for about 15 minutes there, so it can be tough to catch everything if you're lonesome when there's 4 going.
So Seto and Zenobian both take down a Ice Dragon there. I think that's Vanilla Ice Dragon.
Yes, it was.
Before hopping into the Yeti Cave.
Boring Economizer is the reward, but it can fuel the money train.
That's right. With Minerva's for sale, that is definitely something I would rather have than an Economizer or a Genji helmet.
Absolutely.
It looks like everybody except for Double Down is in Narsh there, and it is an item. Seto doesn't even check what the item is before warping out.
Yeah, I think that's the correct play there. You're already in the 30s at this point. You don't really need the extra boss experience, and honestly, how good is that item going to be when you've already got 3 ultimate weapons for your characters?
Yeah, I don't think there would be any item that I would pick. Even Experience Egg is not very useful at level 30s, like you said, right? So,
Yeah. Uh, I honestly can't think of anything that would be particularly worth it at this point. Some defensive equipment maybe, but offense negates your need for defense.
yes, so the skip refers to Kefka Tower boss skip. So basically, what happens is you you don't you go right to the statues in front of where Kefka is, and you still need to do the boss gauntlet. You still need to fight 4 bosses, but it skips you through the Inferno spot plus all of the other walking around in the tower. All right, so the bosses for the Kefka's Tower skip are Umaro, Narapa, Ultros 4 with Chupan, Funbaba 3, and Haydn. So we've seen definitely 2 of them, Umaro and Haydn, and we know where Funbaba 3 is. So the skip
Yeah,
is definitely possible.
Fitz has gone back to do it now after finding Umaro in Narsh.
Yep.
So most of these runners have fought 2 of those bosses at this point. So you've got the freebie there, but do you go for it knowing that the reward is a character rather than an Esper, or do you keep plunking away bosses and hope you find one of the other 2 options there?
And it
And another thing
is.
to consider is if you go out of your way to fight this Funbaba 3 and whatever's after it, does the time invested in that, is that really going to save you as much time as it spends to walk a bit in Kefka's Tower and fight, and presumably one-shot whichever boss is at the Umaro spot, or Inferno spot, rather?
Yep. So Zenobian did end up getting the item. I didn't see what it was because I was looking up the bosses. So my bad. If anybody in chat saw it, they could let us know. But whatever it was, I don't think it would have been worth the time to fight that boss, even though it was a one shot here.
It was an Atma weapon, but
Okay.
like you say, at this point, not really. You're probably better off swinging the Illuminas.
Yep. So Fitz does get the skip. That's a gal with tools and natural magic. Interesting, but at this point in the seed, we're looking for people that could swing big, heavy things. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's completely unnecessary. This seed was basically, decided what everyone was going to do in the first 5 minutes when you find 3 ultimate weapons and both of the ladies. You're just going to be bashing stuff with big sticks all day.
all right, so that's Golem Esper for Zenobian. That is Raiden Esper for Double Down. And One Free Fitz is taking his party down to 3. He must have found some dried meat somewhere, although by the looks of things, it looks like he's going to go shopping for it now.
Yeah, Fitz is hunting for dried meat. That is not a good place to be right now. Every other racer has picked up Sellies and has had access to her very, very fast checks.
That was Esper number 5. I think that was Kieran was on the throne there for Double Down. So Double Down does pull back in striking contention with his 5th Esper here. And he will get his 6th after fighting Doom. Zenobian scrounging up enough cash to get the $64,000 item. We'll see. Not yet. And that is Seto with his 7th Esper from the Daryl's Tomb spot. So the checks that we have not seen yet are the Opera House, which I don't expect to see at this point in the seed. And the Leet River, which I also don't expect to see. Ever. So,
So you say, but progress may be gated behind one of those two at this point. It's we're starting to run out of locations to amass 10 espers with the 6 characters that we've seen so far.
yep, and there is Edgar on the Velt. So that's another set of checks for us. Remember, we did see Go-Go, and nobody picked up Go-Go, but it might be required to get Go-Go, although...
It's I don't think it's required to get Go-Go. There's still the Gao Edgar route for going through Mobliz World of Ruin, as we've seen from Fitz.
Yep.
But Fitz also doesn't have Celis, so...
Yep. And we also haven't seen Mount Zozo for Cyan or the Dome of Siege yet either, so there's plenty of... It looks like there's plenty of paths through the seed, and that's one of the things I love about Worlds Collide is it's not like a required item hunt. It's more like a... Here's just some objectives for you to do, go do them, and however you do them, I don't care. Right? I wish my boss was like that.
It's definitely enjoyable that way, but it can be a little stressful as a racer, though. Especially if you're one requirement away from being able to go to the end game, but you just keep finding dead check after dead check, and then your thoughts go to, oh man, if someone else did that one thing that I've been putting off because it feels like it's going to take too long, or I don't like it, or whatever, I'm toast.
Yep.
So that's the other side of the coin there too. It adds a lot more luck element to a lot of these races too. So it's a randomizer where unless the path is basically railroaded the whole way through, you usually can't feel too bad if about yourself if you lose, and you usually can't feel too good about yourself when you win.
All right, we are in the auction house there. Zenobian did see that there are glowing stones available, so he might throw down some cash at it. And that Shadow on the throne, one free Fitz is deciding not to walk out of Figaro Castle. Nobody needs a ninja, apparently.
That's an extremely curious call there. Shadow has a free check. Like, I have
a peekable one at the cave in the Velt as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't like being negative about any racers, but Fitz seems like they're trying to lose this one, to me.
Yeah, well, it's a bit. The requirements are a bit different than normal, right? Normally, you need to get a certain number of characters and espers and perhaps dragons, but this seed is a little bit of a curveball where it's just go find me espers and that's all I need. Seto is not going to take the minecart ride because he got his behemoth suit at Magitech 2 after getting his Esper at Magitech 1. Double Down's going to like what he reads on the tomb there. Zenobian does not like what he sees at the auction house, and it looks like Fitz is going to go peek the Edgar stuff.
I see what Fitz is doing now. They wanted to peek what was on the throne before going through the Edgar suite, but still, if it's a character with a free check, you have to get that character and go do that free check. That is faster than going through this whole sequence.
So it looks like Zenobian is in the World of Ruin auction house. You can get the Esper for... No, you can't get it for cheaper. It's still 20,000 or 10,000. But in the world of balance, you could buy the standard items as many times as you want, and they're cheaper. Versus in the world of Ruin, you need to get the $50,000 item out of the pool right away. Seto seeing his $50,000 Ninja Star, and man, that's an expensive thing to throw. But once you get it, it does come out of the item pool. A lot of runners will do a save point so that they can reset out of the auction house if it's something they don't want, because it is definitely faster than sitting through the cutscene here.
It's just going to see what we've got down in the engine room for a boss fight.
The Imp Robot. So the bad thing about the World of Ruin auction house is you get the Imp Robot, and Fitz is found, I think that's Ultros 4 with Chupon. So he's seen 4 of the 5 bosses required for the skip. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's overkill at this point. And Fitz is very confused about rows. They've got Mog on the back row with Valiant Knives and Terra on the front row with Illuminous. And it seems as though Terra hasn't unlocked her magic command yet, so no MP crits. Or she's just out of MP.
Yeah, it could be a possibility. Sometimes when I go fight the Phantom Train, I will change the rows. Or when I do the Phantom Train boss, rather, I change the rows of my characters, and I will obviously forget to change them back every now and again. And oh, that's a second robot for Seto. Oof.
Yeah, and we've got another reset there for Zeno. So Auction House, it loves to troll.
Yeah, sometimes you can be so close yet so far.
Yeah, that's the idea, but you could, in theory, never get the espers that are for sale at the auction house. It's always a risk to go for it.
Yep, and there's
an esper up there for Zeno now. So that'll get Zeno up to 8 espers as well. But what's curious is that Zeno came here with 7 espers. You've still got to go elsewhere, so I don't think you need to be this desperate just yet.
You could find up to 2 espers in the auction house. One is 20,000 and one could be 10,000. Meanwhile, Free Fitz gets a esper in the tentacle spot, the engine room spot, with Alexander. And this is Double Down fighting Haydn at, I believe this is the Welk spot.
Yes, and there's another imp robot for Kaiba.
Oh, man. It's like the sunken cost fallacy here. Go out and save.
We are literally seeing a sunken cost fallacy in action here, Schwantz.
I see what Zenobian was doing, and Double Down getting his esper here. He wanted to get to 8 espers on the chance that espers 9 and 10 are in Magitech 1 and 2.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he's only going to find 1 here, and he's going to have to figure out where else to go. Speaking of other places to go...
That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see if Zeno's going to push through the minecart and hope that that's number 10, or if they're going to warp out and try something else.
We know that it is Cyan and not an Esper. Double Down decides to check what the reward beside Go-Go is, and let's see if we get a no-go in this seed here. Will it be Go-Go or will it be Cat Hood? What do you think, chat? It is the Cat Hood.
Yep. All 4 racers denied Go-Go a chance on their team. It's a little rude, if you ask me.
Fitz is rewarded for doing the Edgar circuit, getting that Esper there, deciding not to do the dragon, and getting the heck out of here.
Zero reason to fight the dragon. You don't need the bonus experience, and you're not interested in any bonus items. I mean, everyone's got like one of the girls with 2 Illuminas and the other one with a Valiant Knife and an offering. So just forget it. You're fine. You're fine.
All right. So Seto finally finds this Esper here. He did, I think, purchase a R-Lance for 10k, which is nice, except you don't need it right now. Because you got Valiant Knife and 2 Illuminas and all that other fun stuff. I guess if we did find a Dragon Horn in the whatchamacallit, in the room of the cave, the Imperial base, right?
Oh, it's way too late to prepare a jumper.
Yeah. If we already had Dragoon boots in our inventory with that Dragon Horn, then maybe. But trying to go around
you would definitely transition Mog over to a jumping role for endgame. At the point we're at, Shock is just... it's less than adequate compared to your other offensive options.
All right, well, Seto says, I don't care what's here, I'm going to go get it. And it is Gao at the bottom. He sees Gao. I wonder if he resets out here, and it looks like he's going to opt to continue.
No. Seto is here strictly for the skip, so Seto's going to see this through no matter what.
All right. Meanwhile, Fitz is out of the Edgar lineage, and looks like they're going to take their money to the auction house here. And Zenobian is pushing through to Magitech 3. So he's going to be thoroughly disappointed what he finds on the other side of this.
Perhaps, but Cyan does have a couple relatively quick checks, which could lead to Esper number 10, so it's not the end of the world.
Yep. So that's Magicite number 9 for double down there with Phantom. To note, one of Cyan's checks is Cyan's Dream. It's a 3-parter. However, once you start Cyan's Dream, you have to see it all the way through. So that would not be one that I would gravitate towards with just one Esper to go, even though...
No, absolutely not. You go Doma Castle first, and failing that, you'll go Mount Zozo.
And that was 7k damage apiece per swing for Seto on Tunnel Armor, so we're getting multiple Tunnel Armors in different spots.
Zeno on the screen below.
Oh, man. I love when there's multiple bosses. It's fun beating up the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
Yep, so there's the Aura Lance for 1 free Fitz. Let's see if they purchase it. Of note, if you purchase the $10,000 item here, it actually only gets you closer to getting an Imp Robot. It doesn't actually increase the chance of you finding the Esper, so we'll see if he purchases it or not. The auction house has got some very strange mechanics that took me a long time to figure out. Seto is doing the Velt here.
The best way to understand the mechanics of the auction house is to just not go there.
Spoken like a true champ there. Alright, so Double Down sees Gao at the bottom of Mobliz, but I think, as you alluded to earlier, Jack, they're doing this for the skip now. They don't really care what the reward is, because he didn't even bother looking, asking the girl what to take away. And that is Edgar at the Velt check. Interestingly, nobody is doing the Serpent Trench, but I understand why, because there are, at minimum, 3 boss battles in the Serpent Trench. At most 5.
Serpent Trench is normally a quick check, but in these settings, it's a boss gauntlet, so no thank you.
And Seto is going to be displeased when he finds a ninja on the throne here.
Again, though, two very quick checks that you can do that could lead to that final Magicite. One of them is land the airship and talk to someone. It doesn't get much faster than that.
And it's Imp Robot time for Fitz. So what is that? We've seen 4 Imp Robots total on stream tonight?
3 of them for Seto, yes.
Alright, so here is the actual boss of the minecart ride, part 1, for Zenobia and the Tentacles. Hate to see them early in the seed or in Kefka's tower, because they are either deadly or they just waste time. But seeing them here shouldn't be a problem.
No, absolutely not.
And Seto will pick up his friendly neighborhood ninja and head right over to the Gao Manor. And we've got an Imp Sprite, so... Oh, of course he's going to keep us waiting.
Well, you need your consumables.
Oh, man. It's an Aegis Shield.
An Aegis Shield of shame.
So we'll see if he goes straight to our cave on the Velt here. Interesting to note, none of our runners have scrounged up enough money for that Zen Thief Esper. That could be our Esper number 10 for some of our runners.
Oh, there's definitely enough money there. No one's gone and sold anything, is what you mean.
Yep, because we had what? We won an economizer, and we've got all sorts of good stuff. Double Down is our first person in go mode here at 51.55 with Esper number 10 from the Zen Thief. Zenobian disappointed in getting Gao. I'm not Gao. Cyan. But, as you said, he's heading straight for the dream here. Not the dream.
No, just regular Doma Castle. I'm gonna
stop talking for a couple minutes.
Yeah, give your voice a break. It's all right.
All right, and
no Esper in Velt Cave, unfortunately for
yeah.
So I have to go somewhere else.
Yep, the ghost sprite on the ground is not fun. So Shadow had 2 dead checks and the floating continent, which is way too late to go there now.
Yeah, it's quite surprising. The hunt for that 10th Esper really feels like the final boss in these settings a lot of the time.
All right, and it looks like
So
one for.
Kaiba's going to be heading to the Figaro engine room. At this point, it's just like, well, I think this is maybe the fastest check I have available. Is probably what's going through Kaiba's head there. So that's what they're up to. Guardian down for Zeno.
And we did not see a new character sprite, so that means the reward is either an Esper or an item here. We'll see if we get our Esper number 10. No!
No.
We're going to call this seed no
Double
mode.
Down is starting to double down on that lead here, landing at the statues as his closest competitors don't find an Esper, just a bunch of dead checks in a row there.
Yep, one free Fitz, I think, accidentally ran into a soldier here, but at least he's back at the sealed gate cave, and that means that he, if he decides to go through with this check, will find Esper number 9 at least, and then scrounge up some money.
Fitz is picking up Sellies.
Oh, that's right, I forgot it's Celeste here. Or Sellies, or whatever, however you pronounce her name. New check over on Zenobian's screen for Mount Zozo, and it is Inferno at not the Inferno spot. A little French vanilla action here.
Yeah, situation like this is where you really see how lackluster the offering can be. That's a wipe for Double Down, but that's not the worst thing in the world because it's a boss right after you land in the tower, and now Double Down knows, oh, that spot's Inferno. I don't want my offering character there. I want my Illumina character there.
So we'll see
if... 2 big Illumina swings will one-shot that boss.
So we'll see if Double Down decides to, maybe see what some of the other spots are, or if he just is like, you know what, I'm going to reform my party and...
definitely not. Just like go. I said, put Sellies with the 2 Illuminas in there and you're set.
It is a grandpa writing love letters for Zenobian. Man, I feel bad for these two here.
The troll job is unreal, particularly for Zeno here. Dead check after dead check after dead check. Seto at least did get Esper number 10, so Seto going to be in Kefka's tower pretty much right behind Double Down after that Inferno wipe here. So going to be a close finish between these two at the very least.
And Kefka's tower and Final Kefka can do anything. It looks like we're going to see a different side of it, and this is a vanilla goddess as well. Oof.
Well, Double Down has the right character to take the goddess on, not relying on the fight command on the off chance you eat a love token. But you can see from the animation length and the damage why everyone loves ultimate weapons. They're just so much more efficient at dealing damage time-wise.
And Seto runs into Tritok down the middle, so do we have any fire to take out Tritok? This will be an interesting
fire or
one.
Something that will ignore defense. Those Illuminas aren't going to do it. Oh, there's Fire 3. Nothing to worry about.
So we're good here. Question from the chat. Why are the overworld sprites recolored? So it is an option with Worlds Collide. You could customize it with recoloring sprite palettes. You could also choose different sprites altogether that some of our community members have drawn up to replace the characters on the screen. So there's, things like sprites from Chrono Trigger, sprites from other Final Fantasy games. So it's just a lot of fun, and the customization is great. Meanwhile, Double Down taking a wipe to Goddess as well.
Atma weapon inside the meme chest. How about that?
So Seto's run is validated. So yeah, our side statues are pretty nasty. Inferno and Goddess.
Yep.
The ones in the middle, not so much. Leader and Tritok could be nasty if you're not prepared, but our runners should be prepared with both the Valiant Knife and with Fire 3.
Double Down will be fine. Double Down has defense ignoring attacks in this party.
And there it is, Esper number 10 for 1 free Fitz after grabbing Celeste. So he will be on his way to Kefka's tower as soon as he's out of this basement here.
I think that was Esper number 9 for Fitz. I think Fitz still has one more to go.
Oh, I thought I saw the text box pop up, but I might be mistaken. Zenobian did find an Esper in RNG Cave, so he's going to be on his way to the tower now as well.
Yeah, RNG cave. Yeah, but that's exactly what it is. Not a fun place to go. Zeno still has a shot at this there. Double Down's had to take a few resets already to get on their feet in this statue section there. Double Down had a pretty clear advantage, but now we've got Kaiba in the driver's seat here.
Just got to get past these two beefy bosses. It looks like One Free Fits is going to take a dragon prior to getting into Kefka's tower. Concerned about his levels. They are a little low.
They are under level 30, so there is legitimate reason for concern there.
That's 2 out of 3 members down for Seto, but he powers through. Mog coming in with the clutch shock there.
Yeah, and for Kaiba, that was his weakest team, and he was able to get through probably the toughest of the boss spots there. So looking pretty good for Kaiba here. Comfortably on pace to finish sub 70 with a fast final boss fight.
Unfortunately, Zeno did not get the skip, so he is walking through Kefka's tower the old-fashioned way. So now we'll get to see, sort of how much time it saves you with the skip. It's usually, 5 to 7 minutes or so, depending upon what the boss battle at Inferno is and how bad it is. So Zenobian has a little work to do to catch up, but he is at least in the tower. So he's in the race.
Well, they're all in the race. I mean, we wouldn't be watching them otherwise.
That's true. Very existential point there, Jack. Meanwhile, at just over the hour mark, Double Down defeats his boss there. Seto is actually damaging Terra Down in order to use that Valiant Knife with the nonsense character on the side. I like this play with your extra characters, and if you have a Valiant Knife user, you might as well damage them down instead of damaging the boss down.
That damage will get sent back fourfold with the offering in tow.
Meanwhile, that was Dataluma, in case you missed it. I almost did. At the Inferno spot.
Who is your daddy, and what does he luma?
A little kindergarten cop action there. Muscle belt going on to the Valiant Knife user on One Free Fits' side. That is not a relic you see very often being used with weapons other than the Valiant Knife, because it does double your HP, which gives you much more breathing room for the Valiant Knife to do much more damage.
Yeah, Fitz landing at Kefka's tower, so I guess it was Esper number 10 there. So that's my mistake. I trusted the tracker. I should not have done so.
Well, Ceiling Cat's been doing a fantastic job of tracking, getting stuff that we've been missing there. And Seto is on the switches at 101.30 or so. He's our first one on the switches, and Double Down will be joining him shortly, I think, because that was his final boss that defeated. So we got a race for first.
Pretty close finish here.
All right, and here you see the power of the skip. One Free Fits taking a dragon and still coming in ahead of Zenobian, who is in the tower several minutes before him. However, important to note that his levels are a bit on the lower side of things, right? 30s is not usually where you want to be for Kefka's tower, especially in this flag set with how crazy the boss leveling can be. Yes, their HP scaling isn't that high, but when they do massive elemental damage, things definitely hurt.
Well, and the final boss is still the final boss.
Yep. Yeah.
Kaiba being very aggressive with Life 3 early on in the fight here. That's Usually a bit of a risky play there. It might just get de-spelled in tier 2.
Yeah, so when one of the parts of tier 2 does die, they will death counter with multiple dispels, and that'll get rid of your life 3 status right before you actually need it on tier 3. It's almost as if the programmers of this game kind of knew what they were doing sometimes.
Yeah. Kaiba's attempt to damage Terra backfires spectacularly as she's got an ice shield on.
Meanwhile, Fitz here is having troubles at the Inferno spot. And Zenobian getting...
that will definitely lower Terra's HP.
Oof.
So
is that what he was doing? Was he casting? He was casting life 3 just to kill her and bring her back. That's some sadistic.
Yes, okay,
that's very sadistic, Seto.
yeah.
Stay away from Seto.
It certainly will increase her damage output, but it does take a little bit of time to pull off those shenanigans. So you wonder if the time trade-off was worth the extra damage.
Well, Terra does get back up as tier 1 gets cleared from Seto. So interesting thing to note in the final battle: if one of your characters is dead as they move between one tier and the other, somebody off the bench comes in to swap out. And in this case, we do not want that, because we have our 4 most powerful characters that we've been using all game, and we want them to fight every part of Kefka.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as possible, anyway. It's alright to have a loss or two later on in the fight, because you don't necessarily need 4 characters worth of offense against tiers 3 and 4, since they're heavily counterattack based anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's often better to have characters on standby to throw elixirs and the like as needed.
Some
unreliable X Zone misses again.
Yeah, that's some bad luck there. Double Down will not have that problem, because he did clear Cyan's Dream and does have access to Sword Tech 8.
Yeah, just cleave and be done with it. Cleave does not miss.
Yep. Unfortunately, Seto does not have access to cleave.
Yeah, and there's another X Zone miss. At this point, Kaiba could have killed that part in 2 Illumina attacks from Celes, so that's just wasted turns at this point.
Yeah,
see, it's nice. It's nice that you can instant kill a couple parts of the final boss, but if your offense is really high, you're probably better off just beating them down with numbers anyway. There's miss number 3 from X Zone for Kaiba.
Well, he got 3 Imp Robots, and he got 3 X Zone misses. I guess bad things come in 3s in this seed. Tools is weak to lightning, very weak to lightning, in fact. So if you have a Bolt 3 spell, you could usually kill it in 2 Bolt 3 spells as well.
Yeah, okay.
There it is.
Exo number 4 does connect, however.
There it goes. And also there goes Inferno down on Fitz's screen, and Double Down is joining Seto on tier 2 as well.
Yep.
Looking for a mute spell, I think, here. We did see Siren come out for Seto, so that will nullify magic. Yeah, Unfortunately, Double Down did not find that Esper.
I'm not sure why Seto smashed the ice shield there. Celes has Illuminas. Smash the ice shield with one of your weaker dudes, Seto. See, she just hit the damage cap anyway without breaking his shield.
Tiger is weak to ice, so it is a good idea to use the ice shield on Tiger, if you're going to use any type of shield.
Yeah, but not with a character that's hitting the cap already.
No.
That's a waste.
No. Maybe it's because Celes has the highest magic power, but again, you want
everyone has the same level, it doesn't matter.
Ooh, so this will be interesting here. Terra getting knocked down from a 10 hits, coming in with a clutch block there. This is scary. Whew. 24 HP in a dream.
It's only kind of scary. I mean, there's still the magic part left, and, well, now Terra's at 24 hit points, which is kind of exactly what you want.
Zeno is putting on Fenrir on tier number 1, which is pretty smart because this is a physical only tier. So that means he'll dodge most of the attacks as long as the image status doesn't get taken off of him by a attack.
There's another X zone miss this time for Zeno. It's not an accurate spell at all. And you know, when you have that level of damage, rather than fiddle with X zone, it's probably better to just kind of swing away. Here's X zone number 2 for Zeno, and it connects.
There we go.
Kaiba first on to tier 3. And Zeno will be done of tier 1 after that massive physical attack.
Yeah, Break will work on tier 1, but it will not work on tier 2.
That is correct.
Long Arm is susceptible to Petrify and instant death, whereas Tools is just susceptible to instant death. There's the Golem cast in preparation for Calmness from Seto. Nice weight tricking going on here, being in the menu to not have that 19-second timer start counting down unnecessarily.
Yep. Celi's is out of MP. So, no MP crits from the Illuminas. Why on earth are you using the Elixir with Terra? She does your most damage. Kaiba, what are you doing, man? Optimize, bud. Optimize.
Jack is still available for mentoring for anybody in Anyway, Worldy Win coming, knocking Terra's HP down to 2. But that only makes her stronger. Doing 6k a pop. That's 24,000 damage per turn. Easily.
24,000 damage by pressing the A button. I don't think Kefka is very long for this world. Kaiba won't quite sneak under 70 minutes, but it's still going to be a very hot time.
2 of his 4 party members getting frozen there for Zenobian. Thankfully, he knows Fire 1, and that means that Celeste and Yeti can go back to smashing things.
Exactly.
Double Down is in the throes of 10 hits here, and it looks like he'll be moving on to tier number 3 in a second. And I think One Free Fitz got past his final hurdle and will be stepping on the switches for his final Kefka Tower battle in just a moment here.
Zeno's X Zone connects on the first try against tier 2. And there comes 10 hits for Zeno, so just the magic part left for him now. Double Down starting tier 3. And Kaiba's already taken off more than half of Kefka's hit points by pressing the A button twice. Terra's going to get up from life 3. Kefka's going to charge Goner. Kaiba's going to hold A, and the seed will be over. So, get your GGs out for Kaiba. Kaiba is your winner in this race here tonight.
Always love having great offense. Insane offense to do this sort of stuff. And that is it. The Crack Pow. Get your GGs in chat. 1:11:12 is your time. That is a great time there.
Yeah, great finish. Absolutely. Yeah, when the offense is that high, you can call the victory shot on Kefka long before it happens.
Seto says he has grievances to air. So what is this, Festivus?
Oh, I know Kaiba has some grievances to air. 3 X-Zone misses, 3 Imp robots. Kaiba honestly got robbed of a sub 70 by Auction House trolling there. And I'm sure they will let us know exactly that, assuming we are doing interviews with racers tonight.
Yep. So if they want to join the waiting room, they certainly can. I don't have any control over when they come in or out. Maybe Seto is giving himself, a minute or so as a break. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's the standard. You just finished playing a game for a little over an hour straight. Have a little break, get something to drink, get a smoke into you, then you're good to go.
All right, so it is.
Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide does actually not endorse or encourage smoking.
But we do encourage you to look at our website, ff6wc.com, to get started. So
Nice.
Seto will be moving on into the final round of this tournament of the month to face off against my co-commentator Jack and against Falcon Hit and one more person that will be coming out of the other pod. So that should always be fun. And
Are we broadcasting that race live as well?
It depends on if you guys can figure out a sync time to do it. And speaking of syncs, here is Seto. Congratulations, GG's on your first place victory. How you feeling, Seto?
Well, feeling good now that it's over. So Auction House Kid,
PG-13. PG-13.
Yeah, okay. it can go away. I was like, I would say this. No, wait, PG-13. I went down like 4 phrasings, and none of them would have been okay for the stream. 0.2% is what happened to me there with Auction House. I pulled up the math while I was waiting through the lengthy Improbot cutscene. That was very unlucky, and luckily it didn't hurt me too much, it looks like.
Yeah, well, not only did you get 3 Imp robots, you also had 3 X zones miss in the final fight. So just to add to your frustration.
Yeah, that was frustrating also because Terra couldn't do much until targets went down, and I wanted Celeste to break the ice shield, but she was the only person who X zoned, so that added a little bit of time as well. To otherwise what was a pretty straightforward, final gauntlet.
So take us through your strategy for these particular seeds. Are you the type of person that just runs at bosses or takes off the Moogle Charm perhaps to get some grind fights? What was your strategy here?
So I did 1 or 2 practices yesterday, but I did the prelims blind, and my strategy is get XP and get it early. More XP the better. Like, things are going to die very quickly, so you don't need to worry about your own armor if you're killing them in 1 or 2 hits. And I made a mistake early that worked in my favor, where I forgot that every fixed encounter results in a boss, and so I ended up fighting Penumbra within the first few minutes. But I felt confident with Runic and Shock I could take him down, and that kind of just jump-started my EXP from there. So I kind of welcome bosses here, because once you get a little damage going, you can just tear right through them. And this seed really wanted to give you damage. You know, you start with Shock. You found, I'm going to assume everyone found both the Luminas and the Valiant Knife, because they were pretty much on the way, it looks like. So, the game wanted you to kill bosses quickly, so that was kind of the plan. So got up XP early. The big thing was killing the Ice Dragon, which was a little bit of a gamble. But in my practices, if you can kill a unscaled dragon, the amount of experience you get will just set you to the rest of the seed, and at that point you don't have to worry about strategy. You just got to worry about how quickly can I move through checks.
Yep, and while we were chatting here, we had both Zenobian and Double Down both finish within 12 seconds of one another. So Zeno actually caught up to Double Down and squeaked past him 1:14.42. Double Down 1:14.54. So very tight race between everybody. One other thing I wanted to ask before I'll turn it over to Jack is, were you starting to get frustrated with running into character after character and dead check after dead check towards the end of the seed? And what were your thoughts going through your head there?
I get frustrated at finding everything but the thing I need to win the game. That wouldn't be tilting at all. No,
everything's fine.
It was definitely frustrating, because when I went to Match Attack, I was like, all right, I'm gonna walk out of this. I just need 1 Esper, and then I got a dead check. I'm like, all right, let me get to the Auction House. Okay, there's only 1 there. I knew where Gal was, and I was putting him off because I knew if I took that check, I could get the skip, but I wanted to put it off in case I got a boss somewhere else, and it ultimately didn't matter. But yeah, then after that, the cascade of Gal to Egder to Shadow to Dead to another Dead, or whatever it was, until you finally got the Esper. I was getting frustrated in case any runner decided to be bold and do, say, Opera House, something I was definitely skipping because of the bosses. And, the other thing was I let Gogo die, so if Gogo led to an Esper, then I was really kind of kicking myself that I was falling behind. I'd be curious to see if anyone did Opera House or Gogo, but running out of checks near the end and not liking what I was getting, and, you don't want to get 3 characters and 3 dead checks all at the end there, but, Rando's gonna Rando.
Well, I'll have you know that this seed was a no-go, so all 4 of our runners did not pick up Go-Go at the top of Lone Wolf. Everybody opted for the cat hood except for one free Fitz, who just said nope and just went back to Kefka at Narsh instead. So I think
smart on his part.
I think Jack said that he'll be right back. I hope that he didn't have any other burning questions for you, but do you have any other final thoughts before we get Zenobian in here for his thoughts?
Definitely interesting flag set. I'm glad it's only 3 weeks. I know Javanator has said before that once you get flagged, or any run where offense clicks early, then it gets kind of boring because you don't really need to think in battles at all. Mm-hmm. And it's doubly so in this seed,
for sure.
Unless you get really or drawn up offense early, you're going to be killing things so quickly. You saw, I was, killing people in one attack halfway through. So it can get a little boring, but I like going fast, so I don't mind too much. But I'm kind of glad it'll be over next week. Other than that, I want to plug the, Moogle's first tournament. Good luck to all the runners. I believe you and I have a race in 30 minutes.
That's right.
With our mentees. So that should be fun. And then I want to plug my new site, statscollide.com, statscollide.com. It's a site where you can upload your runs, your data from your runs, and get nice dashboards of your stats to track your progress and try to track maybe decision making and kind of see what different things you do might result in better or worse. So I think it's cool, and we're adding more stuff to it every day. So if that interests you, check it out and start putting your run data in.
All right. Well, yes, I'm definitely going to be using Stats Collide in the near future. Thank you for your effort of putting that together, and good luck in the finals, where you'll be going up against Jack and Falcon Hit and To Be Determined. So, good luck.
I don't like that. Those guys are good.
Yeah. Oh no, the muddled Valiant Knife user. Whew. Thank goodness.
Well, he hits himself. Oh, he did. So
yeah, thank goodness he got out of that one. That could have been a run killer right there. Anyway, thank you, Seto, and GG's on your first place win.
Thank you, and GG's to the other runners.
All right. Have a good night. We're gonna bring in Zenobian. Congratulations on your second place time. GG's. Give us some thoughts about your run there.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we could hear you fine. You have the voice of an angel, my friend.
Excellent, thank you. So, the first 30 minutes of that was absolutely fantastic, and the next 30 minutes weren't.
Yeah, so you had a very similar experience to some of our other runners. You and Seto both were at 9 Espers for, I think, the better part of, 30 minutes almost.
It felt like that. I do have, 3 quick questions.
Sure.
Two of which are a pair. So, question 1, did anyone appreciate me throwing Gogo off of a cliff? And 2, was it the right choice? Did Gogo have anything?
So,
you don't know because everyone threw Gogo off the cliff.
See, that's what I like about this community. Everyone knows Zone Eater is trash. Alright, good. I'm glad we don't know.
Yes, so...
Did anyone else snub Gao as well?
There was some definite Gao snubbage as well, although some racers went back for Gao towards the end to get the skip, because Fun Baba 3 was one of the bosses that was necessary for the skip. So I know Seto had said, I saw Gao and I didn't want him, but I went there for the skip. And death to Gogo is was the mantra of this seed. This was a no-go.
Excellent.
In addition, there was you and Seto both had some trouble at the auction house. Him with imp robots, and you with not getting the Esper that you needed the first try.
The first is an understatement, but yes.
And then I think what you wanted to do is to get to 8 Espers in order to do Magitech, so you could do Magitech 1 and 2, get your Esper number 9 and number 10, and go to the tower. But that's not what happened. And then you did the minecart ride, and you got to Cyan, and that was also not a...
And then Toma wasn't it. and then Mount Zozo wasn't it, and it went on and on. Did anyone do a pick besides Ebbets Rock to get there last? I imagine someone might have done Fanatics just because it's guaranteed at least. But I was all gamble at that point. I was like, there's no way someone else picked to route this stupid, and yet apparently everyone picked the route this stupid, and I love it.
Well,
Nobody else got Strago.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a win for me. I got the old man
yep.
because I'm an old man. Let's go.
Well, he's writing cute love letters. He's got dementia. Let him do what he needs to do.
He's up in the mountains writing to nobody.
So the Edgar check, I think, was where Seto got his 10th Esper, and Fitz actually got Esper number, I think, 8 at Tentacles, and number 9 down in Ancient Castle. So Edgar, after doing Gao's Velt check, was sort of, I guess, the best way to do it. I don't even quite know what the best route and path through the seed was. It was all over the place.
That makes sense. And if I had had the dried meat at the point that I saw Gao there, obviously I would have picked up Gao. But I didn't do very much shopping this heat. It was just like throwing Illuminas and Valiant Knives and stuff at us. And I said, I don't need to shop. I just need to hit things.
Yep, it was definitely a go seed. So
Very fun battle-wise, though. Very enjoyable to play through, despite the checks weren't playing nice, but the battles were nice and quick and fun and just unga bunga smash, which is what I like to do every once in a while. It's a good time.
yeah, especially with Umaro in the final party, you always love to see it. Jack, you got anything else for Zeno before we let him go?
Jack is silent.
I'm not feeling very generous tonight, so we'll let him lead.
All right, Team Yeti, always start to finish. Love to see it. Y'all have a good night.
All right, thank you, Zeno. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. All right, that is tier 3 down for Fitz here, and he is ascending to final Kefka with his party intact. And we'll see how he decides to get on here, as I think Double Down is going to come in for an interview as well. And here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the administrator of the Tournament of the Month with the loose glass cannons. Double Down, GG's on your finish. Just a smidge behind Zenobian. What'd you think of the seed tonight?
I mean, it wasn't too bad. I don't know. I mean, it's sort of par for the loose glass cannons course. I mowed down a whole bunch of bosses, felt really overpowered at the end, and yet was still occasionally getting one shot by bosses. So it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah. So while everybody else was wasting time at the auction house, you were wasting time in Kefka's tower. How did that sort of feel for you?
Felt really, really good. No, it was really annoying. I just kept feeling like I was bringing just not the right party to not the right side. So I had the one wipe against Inferno. I thought, okay, no problem. I'll flip my parties around on the other side. This is no big deal. I'll do the third part first because I'm sure it'll be leader or something. Well, no, that was Goddess, and I got wiped there too. So I thought, okay, well, cool. I'll just rejigger this again. It'll be fine. And then I think, did I wipe one more time? Maybe that was it, but it was annoying. I mean, that probably cost me a couple minutes, which would have been nice, it turns out.
And that is the crack pal for one free Fitz. 1:26:41 is his time. So get your GG's chat. Make sure you follow our runners as well. So yeah, let's also talk about your approach to these particular flag sets. What do you usually do in the glass cannons preset here?
I don't know, wing it. So I think the one thing, it's funny because I mean, I put this together, and yet I'm not the best at it by any means. Obviously, in fact, I'm tonight I'm third best at it. But it's funny to watch some of these other racers go through and to watch how quickly the meta has developed for this. But I noticed in some of the other races that people were grinding a few random encounters early, so non-boss encounters, taking advantage of the high scaling in a sort of low danger environment. So I did a bunch of that, and I felt like that was pretty effective. Maybe I over grinded, but I don't think I did. I don't know. Maybe I did. I feel like I should have exploited that Kefka on the sealed gate ninja switch, but that's beside the point. So yeah, that's been kind of my approach, is treat it like normal, except instead of grabbing free checks early and then trying to super ball cheese a dragon, I'm grabbing a bunch of free checks early and then cheesing some, turns out, reach frogs and Gekarexes in front of Vector, and then from there just trying to find espers as quickly as I can. I got a little attached to finding characters early on before I remembered that this is not Moogle's free first tournament. This is not Ultras League. I don't need these silly characters. And then I started hunting espers.
Yeah, did you find that your Esper hunt was? It definitely didn't feel like it was as much of a grind as Seto and Zenobian's Esper hunt, but was finding a character like Cyan early something that you wanted to see, because you've got Cyan's Dream, and oh look, you also have a sword tech user, so this is really the check I want to gravitate towards.
Yeah, it was really the sword tech, because I was very excited to get Cyan with the sword tech there, because I was kind of worried that Setzer wouldn't really be pulling his weight, that maybe I'd limp into sword tech 7 through levels, and I'm not even sure. I would have been close at the end, I think. But yeah, that was awfully nice. I know we've been chatting a little bit in the chat room after to figure out what checks I did differently, but no, I never. I think I was starting to feel like the bare edges of panic on how I was going to get my last espers, but it all sort of broke out well in the end. I knew that Zen was live, and cost me an arm and a leg, but I knew that I had that option available. And I mean, worst case, I figured I could have always taken some dried meat to the Velt or something if those didn't pan out, because nobody wants to go buy imp robots.
Yeah, Seto apparently wanted to buy 3 of them, and Fitz wanted to buy 1 of them. So we got our fair share of imp robots on the screen. So that was enjoyable, if nothing else.
Seto got a really good time, so maybe imp robots are the secret sauce to the meta of loose glass cannons. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, I guess.
Jack, you got anything else for Double Down from the seed?
You hit the dudes with the weapons and then killed the guy.
Yeah. I mean, in a few spots, I actually hit the dudes with some magic or some shock as well. But for the most part, yeah, that was the approach I took to the seed, and it played out pretty well, I think.
Well, thank you, Double Down, for creating the tournament of the month concept. Really appreciate the hard work that you're doing behind the scenes with that, as well as with the first season of the Ultras League. I know that I enjoyed it, even though I was prevented from promotion on the very last week by a tiebreaker with Jexy. I'm not salty about it at all, but I really appreciate you doing some behind the scenes stuff to keep the community engaged, and we have a lot of fun doing these. So keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Glad to hear it. There'll be an announcement coming soon for Ultros League Season 2, so watch this space. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching the finals of this tournament and seeing what the winner decides to put into the pool for the next tournament of the month wheel spin, because I'm looking forward to seeing this kind of evolve and mutate over the next few months or years. So yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks to you guys for putting this on. Thanks to the Restream team. You're all wonderful and terrific people.
All right, catch you later. See ya.
Bye.
All right, Jack. Well, that's going to do it for us. Any other final thoughts before we sign off?
Let's go, Bruins!
Of course. And thank you, Seal and Cat and Jack as well, for helping out with putting on the show. Thanks to the runners for running. Can't have the show without them. And we will be back. I see that we have some signups already for Saturday night's restream. So there will be one at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We've got our weekly spot on Speed Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday nights. And hopefully we'll be back soon on this channel for some additional races. I've been The Schwantz27, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later, everybody.